This message is issued by the Emergency Coordination Center in coordination with the Department of Interior Missing Persons Division. We are currently investigating a pattern of unexplained disappearances and identity displacement incidents occurring in wilderness recreation areas across the northwestern mountain region. This is not a drill. If you are currently engaged in backcountry camping or hiking activities, please review the following information immediately. Within the past 96 hours, we have documented 7 separate incidents involving what witnesses describe as duplicate persons appearing in remote camping and hiking locations. These reports share disturbing consistency patterns that our conventional missing persons protocols cannot adequately address. And yes, we now have a whole filing category specifically for this phenomenon, which should tell you everything you need to know about how often we're seeing it. The most recent and thoroughly documented case involves 4 college students from Portland State University, who departed for a 3-day hiking expedition in the Cascade Range on September 14th. Emily Carter, age 21, Jake Thompson, age 22, Brooke Miller, age 20, and Tyler Grant, age 23, followed a well-established trail system toward Bear Lake with proper permits and equipment. Their planned route was standard, their experience level adequate, and weather conditions were optimal throughout their intended stay. Emily Carter first reported anomalous sightings approximately 18 hours into their trip, during the afternoon of September 15th. According to recovered testimony from her companions, Emily observed what she described as someone who looked exactly like me, walking approximately 50 yards ahead on the trail. She called out multiple times, but the figure continued walking without acknowledgement before disappearing behind a stand of Douglas fir trees. When the group reached that location minutes later, they found no footprints, disturbed vegetation, or any evidence of human passage. Jake Thompson later described Emily's reaction as seriously freaked out, but trying to play it cool. The group attempted to rationalize the sighting as a trick of light filtering through the forest canopy, possibly creating reflective illusions on bark surfaces or standing water. This explanation satisfied everyone except Emily, who insisted the figure had been 3-dimensional, solid, and wearing identical clothing, including her distinctive red North Face jacket and blue hiking boots. The second sighting occurred that evening during dinner preparation. Emily reported seeing her duplicate sitting motionless on a fallen log approximately 30 yards from their campsite, positioned just beyond the reach of their lantern light. She alerted her companions immediately, but when they looked in the indicated direction, they observed only empty forest. Brooke Miller attempted to approach the area with a flashlight, but Emily became agitated and requested they avoid investigating further. Miller later noted that Emily seemed genuinely terrified, not just startled or confused. Day 2 brought a significant escalation in both frequency and proximity of sightings. Emily documented 4 separate encounters with her duplicate between sunrise and 3 p.m., each lasting between 30 seconds and 2 minutes. The figure appeared consistently dressed in Emily's exact outfit from the previous day, maintaining perfect stillness whenever observed directly. Tyler Grant attempted to photograph one sighting using his smartphone, but the resulting images showed only forest scenery despite Emily's insistence that her duplicate was clearly visible in the frame. "She's right there," Emily was recorded saying on Grant's camera. "She's looking directly at us. How can you not see her?" The footage shows Grant panning his camera across the indicated area, while Emily points at seemingly empty space, her voice growing increasingly frustrated and desperate. By the afternoon of September 16th, Emily's companions began expressing concern about her mental state. Jake Thompson suggested they consider ending their trip early, noting that Emily had become withdrawn, constantly scanning the tree line and jumping at routine forest sounds. Emily opposed this suggestion vehemently, stating that leaving would somehow give it what it wants, though she could not explain what she meant by this statement. The situation deteriorated dramatically that evening around their campfire. During a conversation about college courses, Brooke Miller referred to Emily using past tense, asking Jake, "What was Emily's major again?" when Emily was sitting directly across from her. When Emily pointed out the grammatical error, Miller appeared confused and insisted she had been asking about someone else, though no other Emily had been mentioned in their conversation. Similar incidents occurred with increasing frequency over the next few hours. Tyler Grant called Emily Erica 3 times, despite knowing her for over 2 years. Jake Thompson asked if she was from Seattle, though Emily had consistently stated she was from Portland and had never lived in Seattle. When Emily corrected these errors, her companions seemed genuinely puzzled and occasionally argued with her about basic biographical facts they had previously known correctly. Most disturbing was Jake Thompson's comment during meal cleanup. "It's weird how Emily never came on these trips with us before." Emily immediately responded that she had participated in 4 previous hiking expeditions with this exact group over the past 18 months. Thompson appeared confused and insisted this was her first trip, while Brooke and Tyler nodded in agreement. They began discussing previous trips as if Emily had never been present, despite photographic evidence on their phones showing her participation. Emily's recorded reaction reveals significant distress. "You guys are scaring me. I've been on every single one of these trips. Remember when I fell into Bear Creek last summer? Remember when my tent zipper broke at Mount Hood and I had to sleep in Brooke's tent? You took pictures. Check your phones. Look at the pictures." When the group reviewed their digital photos, they found images of Emily from previous trips, but her companions seemed unable to process her presence in the pictures. They acknowledged seeing her in the frames, but consistently described the photos as if they depicted a different person, or as if Emily's presence was somehow unexpected or unexplained. The final documented footage, recovered from Tyler Grant's smartphone after the group failed to return on September 17th, shows both Emily Carter and an identical duplicate in the same frame for approximately 8 seconds. The timestamp indicates 11:43 p.m. on September 16th. Emily is visible sitting beside the dimming campfire, while her duplicate stands approximately 15 feet away at the edge of the camera's range, perfectly still and watching the campsite. Neither Emily nor her companions appear aware of the duplicate's presence during this recording. Jake Thompson can be heard saying, "Emily, come away from the fire. It's getting late." Emily responds normally and begins moving toward her tent. Throughout this interaction, the duplicate remains motionless in the background, maintaining visual contact with the camera until the recording ends. Search and rescue teams located the group's abandoned campsite on September 18th. All equipment, including tents, backpacks, and cooking supplies, remained undisturbed and properly organized as if the campers had simply stepped away momentarily. Personal items, including identification documents and electronic devices, were found in their expected locations. The smartphones contained no records of distress calls or emergency messages. 3 members of the hiking group, Jake Thompson, Brooke Miller, and Tyler Grant, were located on September 19th approximately 12 miles from their last known position, walking along a highway toward the nearest town. All 3 appeared unharmed but exhibited significant confusion about recent events and their companion's identity. When questioned about Emily Carter, they consistently claimed they had hiked as a group of 3 and expressed no recognition of her name or description. Medical evaluation revealed no evidence of head trauma, drug intoxication, or neurological abnormalities that might explain their memory inconsistencies. However, when shown photographs of Emily Carter from their own devices, all 3 subjects displayed measurable stress responses including elevated heart rate and perspiration, despite maintaining they had never seen her before. Emily Carter remains missing. However, we must address additional complications that have emerged since her companion's recovery. On September 21st, Emily Carter was reported present and attending classes at Portland State University by multiple professors and classmates. University security footage confirms a person matching Emily's exact physical description entering and exiting campus buildings on that date. However, when Portland police attempted to contact this individual, she denied any knowledge of the hiking trip, claimed she had been in Portland throughout the September 14th to 17th period, and provided verifiable alibi documentation. This person, who appears identical to Emily Carter in all respects, possesses different fingerprints, different dental records, and no memory of the individuals who were her hiking companions. She has lived at a Portland address for 3 years and maintains employment and academic records that do not align with the missing Emily Carter's documented history. Both Emily's families are cooperating with our investigation, but their statements have raised additional concerns. Emily Carter's parents insist their daughter has been safely attending college in Portland and has never expressed interest in hiking or outdoor recreation. Jake Thompson's family reports that Jake has no friends named Emily and has never mentioned hiking with anyone by that name. We have now documented this phenomenon in 7 separate incidents across 4 states. Witnesses consistently report seeing exact duplicates of themselves or group members in wilderness settings. In every case, the phenomenon progresses through observable stages. Stage 1 occurs within the first 24 to 48 hours. Initial duplicate sightings appear at significant distances and are often dismissed as tricks of light or imagination. The duplicate remains passive and non-interactive during this stage. Stage 2 typically begins between 48 and 72 hours. Duplicate sightings increase in frequency and move progressively closer to witnesses. Attempts to document or photograph the duplicate consistently fail, despite the entity being clearly visible to the primary witness. Stage 3 involves memory displacement among group members. Companions begin forgetting or misremembering the primary witness's biographical details, participation in shared activities, and sometimes even their name or existence. Stage 4 presents the appearance of both the original person and their duplicate in the same location, though companions may remain unable to perceive the duplicate directly. The final documented stage involves the complete disappearance of the original person and the emergence of a replacement individual who possesses identical physical characteristics but completely different personal history and relationships. We must emphasize that conventional intervention methods have proven entirely ineffective and potentially dangerous. Physical attempts to confront or interact with duplicate entities result in immediate escalation to Stage 4. Photography, video recording, or digital documentation of duplicates appears to accelerate the phenomenon's progression. Leaving the wilderness area during early stages may prevent advancement, but only if departure occurs before Stage 3 begins. If you encounter your own duplicate or observe a companion seeing their duplicate, do not attempt to approach, photograph, or directly engage with the entity. Do not encourage the affected person to confront their duplicate or prove its existence to others. Most importantly, if a member of your group begins insisting they see someone who looks exactly like themselves, trust their perception and evacuate the area immediately. 3 separate witness groups ignored these warning signs and attempted to rationalize or dismiss duplicate sightings. In each case, the affected individual disappeared within 72 hours and was subsequently replaced by an identical person with no memory of the witnesses or shared experiences. Emergency coordination teams are currently developing evacuation protocols for all wilderness recreation areas where this phenomenon has been documented. However, new incidents continue to emerge in locations previously considered unaffected. We strongly advise against all overnight camping or extended hiking activities until we can better understand the scope and progression patterns of these occurrences. If you are currently in a wilderness area and reading this message, conduct an immediate head count of your group. Verify that all members are accounted for and that you recognize everyone present. If any member of your party reports seeing duplicate individuals, particularly duplicates of themselves, evacuate to populated areas immediately. Remember that the person you entered the wilderness with may not be the same person who emerges with you. Document identifying characteristics of your companions before venturing into affected areas, and verify these details regularly throughout your trip. This message will be updated as additional information becomes available. Monitor emergency broadcasts for evacuation orders and area closures. If you see yourself in the woods, don't look twice. Only one of you will be remembered.